Hey, and welcome to the next session of Ask Professor G. And today's topic is all about, well, what in the world do I want to do with my life? And I know that I gave the thing that you guys are resonating with, and the thing that you're telling me that you want more about is this, well, how do I even get started? So today's Zoom, I guess, what do we call it in today's world? Today's session is all about just really helping you get those basic fundamentals. So rather than giving you a lot of clouded judgment and all these things and task lists to do, what I'm finding is you're really taking action when I give you these minute little pieces. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to share with you those 5 things that can help you get started understanding who you are in the world and who you want to be and how you want to show up and how you want to get paid, because we all care about that, right? So we're going to do that today in this Zoom. I'm going to pop in and out perhaps of the Instagram, so just be with me as I learn the technology with you guys. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to share this because this is a sneak peek into an upcoming program that I have. So I have something free for you. So stick around till the end because you're going to get access to a free gift from me. And we'll just go from there. So like some of you, this is going to be enough. Like you're going to get this juicy material today. You're going to download your free gift and then that's it. You're going to just go take it, use it. You're a self-starter. You're going to grab it and go. Some of you I know are going to be looking for more support, more help along the way. We do have a community that has started to build and you can join as a member. So go do that. Share this with your friends. How many of your friends really don't know what they want to do with their lives? So share, please share. I am here for all of you. I hope what I want from all of this is that the professor in me who loves to teach and for 20 some years has been really all about you and who are you and how do you show up in the world. And let's face it, we're in an age where education is changing, thank God. For years I've been beating maybe the drum almost by myself. I'm certainly not alone. There are plenty of us teachers out there who are saying the same thing, but that's not the norm, which is that education is kind of broken and we've got to deliver it in different ways. And it's not working anymore to box it up and say, here, force feed, learn this. We get you guys. Oh my gosh, we get you. We feel you. We really feel you. And so today, hopefully I can demystify a little bit of that should stuff going on in your life. We're going to stop shoulding all over the place and let go of the models that you've been taught so far, because what you've been taught so far isn't serving. It's not helping you. It's not helping anyone at this point, maybe a few of us, right? So I loved school and I became a professor because I did a little something, something while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. That is how I found what I love and have dedicated my life to and still am, just taking it outside the classroom now, doing the same thing, teaching, sharing. And in that journey as a professor, what I've been finding is over and over, I've taught finance, economics, accounting, management, international business. I like to learn, so I have the credentials to teach all of these variety of classes in the business field. And they often call me for that because that's what helps a university when they can kind of move you around and get their classes filled. So that's worked for me. And it just so happens I like a lot of things. Now, by true trade, I would consider myself an economist. I know money and I've done that route, but what I really love is the study of the economy. So that's what I bring to you. That's what I'm hoping to show you is there's a new economy forming. The model of the world is changing and the economy, the way we've been doing it, is not going to be there. So the traditional models of go to school, get a good education, get a good job, work there 40 years, we already know, guys, that's gone. So I'm here to hopefully help you get on that path. So when it's not so easy as I want to be X and here's the school for it, or maybe I don't know, well, is school right for me? Is it even going to be worth? It's getting expensive, right? And now with the changing models, education isn't really the on-campus experience as much as it used to be, at least right now. So as education is changing and you're in that decision-making space, please let me guide you However that is, if I'm not the right person for you, find someone who is and let them guide you. Take advantage. We have tons of free resources building on our campus, the Ask Professor G campus. So take advantage of those resources. Do what you can with it. Share with your friends. Get access. I'm here to help and serve. That's really why I decided to launch and go public. It's really, really easy for me, guys, to just be in a classroom and let you guys show up to me. But I know that there are so many of you I'm not reaching that way. And not to mention that there's this thing called a curriculum that the school wants you to learn. And so in that traditional classroom, I'm delivering it from that place and fitting in these parts. And for 20 years, I've been noticing that the best way I could get students to learn difficult topics like finance and economics was to find what you love. Just find, who are you? Who are you? What do you love in the world? What do you bring to the planet? What do you like? What do you do in your spare time? Which classes are you enjoying and why? And that study has helped me to really understand what students want and need in the learning process. And so I hope to bring that to you now to understand that in that, uh, I've learned how to get you into what you really love and go there and do that. And life is just juicier. And I'm having students tell me, like, I figured out what I could do because of you, Professor G. I have students calling me from a decade ago. Didn't even know this is what I was doing back then. I just was doing it in the classroom. I didn't even know, but they're calling me saying, oh man, because of what you said, because of what you taught me, because you had me dig a little bit deeper into who I am, I'm doing this now. I thought I was going to be X or Y, and now I found this and I'm so happy. And I'm making money, which is always good, right? Like I found it, I've monetized it, I've learned how to turn that into a goal, into money in my pocket, and now into a livelihood. And so that's what today is about, just helping you get there. So I'm going to give you this overview of what one of my main courses now is, and it's called the Big Decision Blueprint. That course is available now for purchase, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we wrap up today. But the Big Decision Blueprint is that course with the modules, with the work, with the take your work deeper. But before you know if that's a fit for you, maybe you want to just tune in today. I'm going to give you an overview of what that is about so that you can take those fundamental pieces. And hey, if you can do them on your own, I encourage you to do that. We're here to be a resource and to help first. And if this free resource is enough for you, please take it, use it, run with it, make your life awesome, and come back and tell us how it helped. All right, awesome. So we're going to start this live here, I think. We are live on Instagram too. Okay, so I've never done this dual post before, but here we go. So the topic today is about what do I have to do to figure out who I am and what I want with my life and how to make it great. And we're just going to spend about 10 to 20 minutes sharing that, the highlights, right? Those overview pieces. If you want to dive deeper, you can grab that Big Decision Blueprint and take it deeper. But I have a free gift for you first for today. So the first thing you want to understand is when you are looking for the who am I in the world, this is really, I'm going to say this first step seems the simplest, but is the hardest. And that is let go. So you've seen the Disney movies, let it go, let it go. Well, we're not really looking at letting it all go. Here's where I talk about that. So let it go means, or just, it's not really let it go, it's let go. So let go really means that you stop looking at what everyone else wants from you on the planet. What would it look like for you to have a perfect career, a perfect life? How do you please other people? What are the conditionings that other people have given you? And this can be parents, guys. It doesn't mean that your parents are bad just because they've conditioned you in a certain way. I'm conditioned. I've conditioned my children. They will condition theirs. You know, we all are. It's part of our human journey. So allowing yourself to just recognize that there are some things that maybe your parents taught you or your other colleagues have taught you or your friends or whoever along the way, you've picked up some things that maybe aren't as serving. to the journey that you want to be on. So just let that go. And so in that particular module, and if you want to grab the Good Decision Blueprint, which is the short version of this today that is free for you, you can get that at askprofessorg.com/help. And you enter your data there in the next 24 hours or so, whatever that email system takes. I remind you, I'm not the technology person. You'll grab that. So this is the first one. It's just letting go. So this is all about let go. What have you been taught? What ideas have you accepted to be true? Where are other people's desires or opinions or ideas or wishes for you driving the bus? And let that go. Like literally kick out of the driver's seat everything that is not yours. And if you're not sure what's mine and what's not mine, because the first step you got to find out is like, well, what's mine to do? How are you going to show up on the planet if you don't know which parts of all of the ideas that you have are really yours to do? So let go of everything you think you should be, let go of everything you think you want to be yet, and just come from a clean slate. Like, what if the world was an absolute clean slate and you had a little magic wand? We're going to call this pen a magic wand. It's kind of magic. Like, you can erase it, which is kind of magic, right? Erasable pen. So you have your magic wand and you're going to wave your magic wand and blank slate. So we're going to start from fresh, right? Because this magic wand is going to get all confused if there's a lot of garbage in there. So let go. That's your first step. The second thing you're going to do is question everything. So what do I mean by question everything? Well, how many things do you think you know are true right now? Like if you were born in the BC era, you probably would not question it that the world is flat. But then someone came along and said, hey, guys, we can actually get all the way around. And did you notice the horizon and the math and the things? And oh, well, by the way, the world might be round. And then someone went out and found out. And so someone had to question even the idea that the world might be flat for them to step that forward. And now the world gets to be round, right? Now we can go into outer space. Now we can explore other planets. And all of that comes from someone questioning. So let go of what you already think you know. Question everything you think is true. And it might be. It doesn't mean you're letting it go forever, right? Some things we're going to bring back in, like throwing the magic wand. And so question everything that you believe and think is true, because the question is where you begin to dig up the juice. Then when you've kind of broken down all of the shoulds and you've let go of everything you think you know to be true and reapproach the world as a beginner, then you're going to try everything you can that interests you, right? So one of my favorite songs is by Shakira. This got me through some really tough times, actually, and it's Try Everything. Right? The song is upbeat. It comes from that Zootopia movie, Try Everything. And so Shakira's trying everything, right? And the bunny thing, the little bunny in Zootopia, try everything. Well, I'm not going to, as a professor, suggest that you try everything. There are some things I would say, if it doesn't interest you at all, like at all, and you really feel averse to it, maybe it's not for you to try. Again, question everything. So is it really not for you? I'd go back and question that. But maybe some things just aren't. Like I'm truly not interested in a NASCAR event. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make people who like NASCAR wrong. It just means I don't like NASCAR. So maybe I'll never actually try going to a NASCAR event. You'd have to like really, really be in my love circle for me to do that for you. You know, I give a lot, but I don't think I would enjoy that. So understand the places where maybe you may not, and that's okay. But if it's in your wheelhouse of interest at all, let go of fear. Question whether it's really something that's impossible. My son had a huge breakthrough. We were taking a gap year. We were taking a full year. He was with me for 2 months, I think, of this process. And within that 2-month process, maybe 3, that we had together, I said, if you're going to take a gap year, we're going to be intentional. So I asked him to do my work. I said, I do this with people. I help people with this. So let's do my work. And he has already gone back to Ohio, preparing to jump back into school in January, because he just can't wait until fall now to get going again, because he got really clear what he wanted. When he came out and when school was out in the summer, he was like, maybe I won't go back at all. I don't like school. I don't want to do this. Why am I even doing it? Why does it matter Who cares? But in a couple of months of just digging into who he is, letting go of what he thought was true, questioning the truths he believed were true before, and then we got him in there. We tried new things, mostly research in the COVID environment. It had to be mostly done like online and all of that. But he did the work. He every day did the work. He found out what he wanted to do. He got really clear. And now he's so excited that he's going back to school early and not even finishing the gap year because he's excited to get into that part of his life. So you never know where just taking that pause and giving yourself a minute to try something new might interrupt the pattern of stuck and allow you and invite you into more. So try new things. That's my number one. We're going to probably come back to this one and give you some tips and tricks on how to do that now in today's environment. We'll go a little deeper on that trying new things part. So then the next piece of this is number 4 for the linear people out there who need to write down the numbers. It's number 4 is to start to do what you value. So as you've broken down the constructs of what's supposed to be and what's true for you and what needs to be, now we're inviting we've tried new things. Some things we're going to try them and we're going to go, bye, that was stupid and I'm never doing that again. Some things you're going to try and you're going to go, oh my God, this is everything. We went to a fairyland really in Mount Shasta, and one of my friends, my dear friend Vanessa, she loves the ice baths and she's been doing that and she was all about it. And for her, getting into that fairy pool was everything she wanted to try. For me, I wanted to experience the water, but not necessarily submerge. So I found a place in the rocks where I could sit. And so the water was kind of coming over. I had a very cold bum for a little bit, but I sat there and my feet were cold and my butt was cold, but the rest of me was out of the water. And that's how I wanted to experience it. So remember, how you want to experience things might be different than someone else. She values the immunity boost and the brown fat that it creates and all the things that people do who do the ice baths. What I value is more of like being present with the fairies and having been connected with the water in some way and playing in the space where it really seems like fairies must live here. This Moss Bray place, it's like fairies must live here. So for me, that was enough. But for her, how could she possibly leave this beautiful fairyland without dipping into that freezing cold? It was so cold, freezing cold water. So what do you value? And then you're going to do your action steps based on that. So not on what someone else wants. I could have easily felt pressure to go all the way in the water, but remember, she's been doing this weekly, so she's a little tougher than me in the cold. So if I compete with her, then I'm not going to enjoy my time in that fairy space. So learning to really let yourself be who you are, that's the juice and the beauty of really digging into letting go first of who you're not, right? Because then you can say, okay, here's how I want this experience to be. And you begin to do what you value. So the number 4 is to do what you value. Pay attention. And I have deeper worksheets in the bigger course with this, but you'll definitely get started on this in the free version. And do what you value. What are some of the things that you care about and that you want to bring in your life? And then do the things that actually foster and promote that to be more prevalent in your life. So the doing what you value. And then the 5th one for today. And the course actually has 6. And the 6th one I'll tell you is just going out and getting community. And it's the tips and tricks for how to go find people who know, like, and want to do what you want to do and who like the things you want to like and that you can kind of mesh and do things with. If it's travel, if it's sing, right? I'm looking now for a community that sings every evening because I just want to be a part of a community that likes to get out their music and sing and dance and be present with life as it is right now. So the 5th one is to learn something that you like, right? Find something in all this exploring and trying new things, right? So you've let go of what doesn't serve you anymore, and you've questioned all the things you thought were true and tried new things that you haven't tried before. You've started to notice the things that you value and care about, and you're doing more of that. So the 5th one, that's really going to help you find out who you are in the world and start getting paid for it is to learn a new skill, a sellable, transferable skill. And I go into that in more depth in the course, but it's sellable because people want it, right? So if you learn to video edit, maybe people would hire you to video edit or do photos, or maybe you have a gift or a skill that you can offer to the world. Maybe you're good with social media and you know how to get ads. I'm actually training my older son now because he's really good with numbers and patterns, and he loves day trading and he's good at it. Well, if he would understand and learn the algorithms of social media, he might also be able to create an income for himself by helping other people build their social media platforms, right? So looking for those clues in all of these steps so that you can then identify what's a skill that you have that you could share with the world that's fun for you, right? Like you're like, I can get paid for this. You really can get paid for this. So find that skill, find that thing that's sellable and also transferable. And transferable means, hey, I can take this skill that I learned and use it in other ways. I love double dipping as long as it's not in your friend's sauce. Double dip all you want. Find skills. Learn things that you can do that you can sell to get paid now that will maybe benefit you in the plans you have. Like if you go out and learn how to do bookkeeping, you're going to be able to sell your skills as a bookkeeper, get paid right now, and then you're going to be able to do your own books, say when you launch your own business, or even if you don't, if you just have a job, when you actually have money flowing in, you're going to be able to take advantage of that bookkeeping skill. So find those things that are exciting to you, that you enjoy. How many of you found something in high school that you're like, hey, I kind of liked that, but maybe you didn't like love it to turn it into a whole career, or maybe it isn't sufficient to be the kind of lifestyle you want to create as a career. Like bookkeepers aren't going to make a ton of money, but hey, if this is new to you or you don't have other income, you might say, hey, I'm really good at just tracking numbers and keeping books. I can sell this right now. So finding those skills that support you and allow you to have the livelihood that you want, you're going to find yourself more and more and more able to tap in to try these things, right? So now you have a skill that you can try out. Do I like doing this? Do I not like doing this? In fact, my son, I told you that my son has decided to leave his gap year a little early because he's excited to get started back. And he had an idea up until recently. He had an idea that medical school was just too hard. It was too much work. It's too much effort. He always wanted to be a doctor. Ever since he was little, he talked about marine biology in the day when he was in love with whales. And then it has evolved with him. But he's truly interested in medicine and studying the body and how we get well. So he is now looking at potentially well, not potentially, I guess his mind is made up because he is in a hurry to get back, right? So I thought it was potentially, but he is serious about this. So he has decided he's going to nursing school. He's going to try out the medical field in a way that's easier access. So rather than going for 8 years of school and then residency and all the things, and then finding out he hates working in medicine because it happens all the time, right? He was a little bit, he found the schooling to be daunting. My youngest is not really into the academics of things. He's more about the hands-on and the people part. So he is excited to get back to school so he can try his new process, which is, hey, if I go back for nursing, I can knock that out in a couple of years, get working, try it out, find out, make sure I love the job, make sure I love being in medicine, in the medical field. And meanwhile, as I'm working as a nurse, I can begin finishing school and I can go back I can finish, continue all the way through to maybe be a doctor, maybe be an anesthesiologist. He talked about, I think he also talked about an ENT, ear, nose, and throat. There's a bigger word for that, but guys, I am not your medicine person. I teach a lot of medical students, but I am not your medical person. So for him, he's doing this because he doesn't feel comfortable waiting 12 years to begin earning and kind of getting a little bit on his feet, but he really is interested in medicine. So nursing as a way to get in, he can start earning money right away, sellable skill, right? Transferable because the things he'll learn will upgrade him and it'll help him as a base for medical school. And then he gets to take that deeper, more involved commitment when he feels comfortable and says, yes, this really is what I want. And so everybody wins all along the way, and we don't waste a lot of money in schooling before he really knows if he likes it, and he gets to try it out. So that's where we are with him. He's going to nursing school, and that's exciting and fun for him. So think about this. And I'm going to quickly, for the IG live guys, I'm over on Zoom, but I thought I'd pop in and let you guys join us for the overview piece. And that was the 5 parts. Let go. So let go of everything you've up till now has been part of your life. Just let it go for a season, just trying on the blank canvas. Then we're going to question everything we thought was true. So even if you think still this is absolutely true, we start to question, well, is it? How do I know it's true? Right? There's a process for that. Well, I think this is true. I don't know. How do I know? Well, what would I do? Well, does it show up in is it always true? Is it true for me? Maybe it's true for someone else, right? So playing with that, questioning everything, trying new things, finding out what you value and playing and doing that, and then get that sellable skill that you can take forward. And that's how you're going to begin the process where you're making progress, right? The biggest question that I get from you guys is, hey, Professor G, like, I kind of know what I want, but I just really want to be making progress. I don't want to stop and take a whole gap year and lose progress. But here's what I promise you. Sometimes, even if you take a break or don't, doesn't matter. You don't have to be on a break from school to do this work. But when you take those breaks, when you give yourself a moment to just say, who am I? I'm worth it. I get this time. You're going to take massive leaps in your growth, and it's going to help you in your life, period. No matter what degree you end up getting or don't, whatever life path you take, whatever career you pursue, these elements are going to help you to step through that. So share this with your friends, get this out to them, let them know that we're doing this. And if you are hungry for more right now, you can jump on over to the Zoom. We did post the link, and join us, because we are going to dive deep right now into the try everything. So how do you try new things when you've got this kind of boxed reality and you don't really know where to start, and like, how do I find new things to try? That's one of the questions that came up this week. So Instagram followers, see you next time, and Zoom guys, we are still on. All right, so thank you for bearing with me as I learn how to also share the Instagram. And okay, guys, here on the Zoom, so we're gonna go just a couple of more minutes with you guys, because I have something really powerful that I want to share with you. Okay, so that is this try new things. So the thing I'm getting from many students, actually more than I expected, in terms of this is kind of the thing where your mind is. And so here we go, is for me, I'm like, try new things. Okay, boo. And I go out and find things that interest me. But how do I even find out what interests me, Professor G? And how do I find those things to try, especially, and this is one I'm getting a lot, especially in the land of COVID, when everything's closed and no one seems to, there's nothing really to do, and you can't really post openly if you are doing things because everybody's expecting you, blah, 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 right? Well, first of all, remember the first two, let go and question everything. So I'm not asking you to go out and be unsafe. The first thing I want you to know is, when you're trying new things, it's in Burning Man, we say safety third, but in real life, we say safety first, right? So it's safety first. You don't want to jump out and, like, say you've never traveled outside your city and you want to try something new. Don't go to Nicaragua, a country that even I wouldn't go to right now. Don't just pick something crazy out of the hat and go. Really take some time and look into that. So make sure that you're taking safe steps going forward, that you have everything you need to take these steps. So I just want to make that precaution. And then what I'm going to say is, there are many ways that you can find that. So first of all, you can go into the social media and find something new every single day. So go to a social media channel you usually don't go to and see what people are talking about there. I'm going to show you guys. I actually I'm traveling, and as I'm making this video, I'm preparing to travel for 5 to 6 weeks across the country, kind of car camping, kind of staying with friends, kind of just like, I'm sure occasionally I'll get a hotel, but I mostly want to show that you can do this without money. that's one of the key ingredients I want to show, is like I don't have to spend a lot of money to try these new things and have an adventure. So this little app right here, you guys will see the TikTok, one of my favorite apps to blow time. To be honest, I get on TikTok only when I'm like, oh, okay, like I have 30 minutes and I don't want to start something new and right? Or maybe I really want to go to sleep and it's 7 p.m. and I need to blow a little time so I can feel comfortable, like I'm allowed, right? Because I have rules around how early I can go to sleep, only because I wake up really early already. So this TikTok for me has been a lifesaver, because I go on and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to Utah. The algorithms seem to know us. They're always watching, right? So boom, boom, boom. And I found out about something called the ice castles in northern Utah. So I was going through Utah, like through St. George, and then across, for you guys living this way, to Colorado. And I learned that if I just head a few hours north, there's something called ice castles. Ice castles, yes, please. Like, it looks amazing. It's lit up at night, looks phenomenal. I'm going there, right? I found that out because of TikTok. I saw this girl and I said, where is that? I want to go there. I'm going on a road trip. And I saw. So literally, like, look at the social media. People are posting their adventures. They're, especially right now, van life is a big thing. People are posting their adventures. They're sharing where they're going. Go find those if you're looking for somewhere to go. Now, not all of you are looking for a place to go. So instead of looking for social media for those things, places to go, you can look for things that people are getting into. Maybe you want to learn about essential oils, and so you get, hey, who's doing oils? Maybe you want to learn how to play a musical instrument, so you can get online and say, well, okay, what kind of musical instruments are the best to learn with YouTube if you want to do it by yourself? Or maybe you want to go for piano or something pretty complicated, so you're going to hire a teacher. How do I find a teacher for this? But you just think about, so as you start to play, as you start to look back into your childhood, and I'm going to take you through this exercise now. It's just going to take a couple of minutes. So if you don't have them, grab a pen, grab a notebook, and here's what you're going to do. So you're going to go back and you're going to spend some time. So I'm going to take you through this now, and then I'm going to ask you to spend some time adding to this list. So the first thing you're going to ask for yourself is, okay, so what did I love when I was a child? So first question, what did I love when I was a child? Like, what was that, right? So what kind of things, what did I play? What kind of toys did I like? So what did I love? I'm going to write these down with you. When I was a child. So if you like different things, pick an age. So typically, Brian Tracy, one of a famous speaker, sort of famous speaker, talks about, we know between the ages of 7 and 14, like who we are and our life purpose. So if we know that, then what were you doing between the ages of, like, say, let's go down and say 5 to 15, right? So in that age group, people are maturing a little bit more. Maybe by 14, 15, you already kind of had all your friends' ideas imposed in who you are. So go back a little bit further. Go to the 5, 6, 7-year-old you. What did you do? What did you love? What did you enjoy? And write that down. Just don't worry about having an answer right now. Just write down those things. So what did I love when I was a child? The next one is, how did I show up? So again, staying in that 5 to 8, 10 range, whatever age you're exploring. Well, how did I show up? So I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, we would play things like church. I was always the preacher. If we played school, I was always the teacher. If we had a detective agency, I made up the gigs and told people to go out and do those gigs. Turns out I've been a teacher since I was little, but I didn't want to be a teacher. When I was growing up, I was going to be an astronaut. And then when I got pregnant at 17 years old, I thought, well, I don't think leaving the whole atmosphere is a good idea if you have a little kid. So I chose not to be an astronaut, and kind of by default chose business, to be honest, guys. I was like, well, everything you do involves business, so let me study business. And it wasn't until I graduated with my business degree and came back to teach at the university level to figure out what I want to do with my life. I thought, well, I'm good at tutoring, so let me go back and teach a little bit. And through a series of interventions and divine callings and all these things, I ended up being a professor with a bachelor degree at 23 years old. But what happened is in that happy accident of, well, let me go do that while I explore what I want. I fell in love. I was like, I love this. I was teaching English at the time. I didn't want to teach writing. I didn't want to teach and read all those people's papers over and over and over. I wanted to really teach. So and I loved finance and economics. So I studied then from there, finance and economics through a master's degree, the doctorate, because that's what it took to get where I wanted. People are like, oh, you got a doctorate. For years, I even dismissed that. It's like that was easy for me because I knew what I wanted. So I'm telling you that this piece will help you in everything you're doing, because the hard parts, like getting the degrees or getting the experience with a company that you don't love, or I taught with a company for a little while and I didn't love the company in the way they were, but I loved the classroom and I loved my colleagues. And so it worked, right? Because I knew what part of it I loved and I knew what I was getting from it. So how did I show up? What were the things that I did as a student in this space that can give me clues into the who I am at the core, like without other people's programming, without other people's ideas, who am I and how did I show up when we played? And then once you get through what did you love, and like what toys did you get and all of that, and then the how did you show up, now you can start saying, okay, well, when did I shine, right? So sometimes you're not going to all the things you did. Me, I was kind of a brat, to be honest with you guys. I was a brat. I was a little spoiled brat. I was used to having my way. I was raised by my grandparents, adopted, and they are my parents. And so I was raised like an only child, even though they had other kids. They were grown and gone. One of them was my mother, my birth mother. So their kids were gone. I was raised as an only child by my grandparents. So of course, I got everything I wanted. Now, we weren't super wealthy, so I didn't know that we didn't have a lot, though, because it was just me, and they only had to fit to tend to my needs, really, in terms of children. So I was blessed in that way, but not everything I did as a child that I could identify was shining. Like, I was exclusive. Ooh, if you're not my age and a girl, get out of my room. It was very exclusive me. Okay, so I'm not real fond of that. So when I look back that and I have an issue with that, or I feel something about that, that also is a clue to what kinds of things I would like. It turns out I don't like to exclude people. I don't feel good about the part of me who would exclude everyone else, even if it was because they would break my toys and they were younger, and all the reasons, right? The reasons wouldn't matter to me. It didn't feel good. So when I shine as a child was more about when I was leading other kids to have fun. Like, literally, that's when I went back to do my own exercises. I was like, wow, I shine when I'm creating the space and having a space for other people to have a good time. So how cool was that? So I just share that with you to say, when did you shine? So not everything you're going to identify from your childhood is going to be an area where you shine. And that's okay, because nobody's perfect. We're all on a journey figuring it out. I probably have some times when I don't shine, even now as an adult, where things come up, things come out. I'm still working on me every day. I'm never going to quit. So when did I shine? So what was going on in my life when I would shine? And then how did I feel when? And then this, how did I feel when, you're going to go through a series of things that you remember in your life. So there are only 4 parts to this. What did I love when I was a child? How did I show up? When did I shine? So we're specifically pinpointing the places in the areas where you show up, right? Like you tend to be like the leader in that. And another place I would shine was in school. Academics, I was always shining in academics. I loved school. It made sense to me. It was like, oh, okay, do this, get the A. Do this, get the A. Okay, this is easy. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it was something else for you, right? It's because when it was art class, luckily they didn't grade us too heavily in art in high school. And let me tell you guys, if it wasn't for my home ec teacher, it would not have been valedictorian, because I couldn't sew. I was terrible. My pillow was even crooked, but she would help and guide me along the way, and I stayed in it. So I wasn't good at those things. So there are going to be some things that you're like, probably not going to be a seamstress in life, because I could barely sew the pillow. So where did you shine? And then the next piece, how did I feel when? And then what I want you to do is I want you to just create 5 memories from your life. Doesn't matter what they are. Whatever comes first, those are the ones that are here for you to explore now. You can do this exercise as many times as you want and get more. You can go to 15, 20, 30 if you really want. But what I'm going to ask you to do with this one is, how did I feel when? And then whatever comes to your mind, just write a list. 5 things that you remember from your childhood, from that 7 to 15 age-ish. So how did I feel when? And so you're going to write down those 5 things and then just sit with them in your space of silence. Take a moment. How did I feel when? And I'm going to say, we bought the car I wanted, right? So I remember as a child, we went shopping and we were looking for cars. My parents were looking for, like, what's our next car? And we do all the shopping. They kind of had what they wanted, but I wanted the station wagon. Yes, I wanted the station wagon. Why? Because I was a kid and I had lots of toys. And if we got the station wagon, okay, so first of all, let me give a caveat here to those of you watching who I'm kind of anxious to you. In my day, we didn't have to wear seatbelts in the back seat. So I could play in the back of the station wagon. And my parents were gypsies. You probably knew that because I am a gypsy and I'm everywhere all the time. So, can't sit still in one place. My parents went everywhere. My dad was a preacher and he would go and he would preach and sing, and my mom would help him and sing too. And they would travel to these churches. Well, as a kid, I wanted that space in the back of that car because I could spread out my toys and play the whole drive rather than just sitting in the car being bored. So when we bought the car I wanted, because I could play in the back of that car, it was a big old station wagon, ugly. I barely remember the car. I remember more the feeling of they said yes to what I wanted. But I remember feeling like, wow, I must be really important to them because they really chose what I want. And I remember being excited because, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have the space to play with all my toys. By the way, guys, I still always am looking for space to play with all my toys. I bring a big box of crystals and I lay them out, and that's kind of my meditative practice. I use the crystals and I lay them out, and I light candles and I sit with them and I meditate and I think on what I want next. And that's something I love. So I still do that. That clue was there as a kid when I was like, hey, I want one that I can spread out in, right? And so keep that in mind, like find those memories. And then what did you feel? What was it that you felt? What did you experience? What do you remember? What do you notice about those memories? And go through all 5 of them. And then when you're finished, you're going to take the sheet. You're just going to take the 4 questions. You're going to answer them. You're going to, just like we did today. And when it's all finished, you're going to start looking at that. And then every day or 2 or 3, like a couple times a week at least, go back to that list, see if anything new pops up. Notice if there's anything on it, and then choose something. Let's say once a month, I'm going to challenge you and give you an actual assignment with this. And please, please, please tell me what you did. Tell me what you did with it. So once a month, you're going to go back to this list. You're going to choose a thing, and you're going to just try something new that sparked your mind from your list, right? So it doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter who or where or when it came up, it just sparked and you were interested in it and you're going to try it. So commit to trying one new thing a month and then come back and let me know how you did. All right, cool. All right, that's what I have for you guys today. So before we go, I promised you something free. And I mentioned it before, but I'm going to tell you again. So you go to askprofessorg.com/help. So that is the free resource. You're just going to put your name and email there, and you will receive somewhere in the next 24 hours from the time you enter your email, probably sooner, but just in case, technology, I don't know how it works. So let's say somewhere between right away and 24 hours from entering your data, you will get an email with the download, which is the Good Decision Blueprint. It is the outline of what we've done here today. It also includes part 6, which is community, and a simple worksheet to help get you started into this work. I invite you to go get the free version, try that out. Do that first. We have a deeper product. It's called the Big Decision Blueprint. So the Good Decision Blueprint is that introductory. It's going to help you kind of discover more about who you are and how to make decisions based on who you are. The Big Decision Blueprint walks you through the deeper parts of that, finds out more deeply who you are, and helps you make all the big decisions that you have in your life from that place of power, from a place of who you are, and helps you get on that path where you can feel confident and feel like, look, I know what I'm doing. I know why. Here's what we're doing. And even if things don't work out in your favor, you'll know why they didn't, why they did, what to do next. So this blueprint will keep giving and giving and giving. So I encourage you, go get the free one. If the free one is supporting you, then maybe you want to jump in. It's not a lot. We're running promotions all the time for that big decision blueprint as well. But whatever is the right amount for you to study, whatever is the correct path for you, take that, because you're not going to get it wrong, because it's your life and your choice. You can't get it wrong, and it's never going to be done until you die. So give yourself a break, do some things you love, and let me know how it goes. I love you guys. See you in the next chat or in our membership. Don't forget, we do have a membership with Ask Professor G now as well. Big hugs. See you soon.